2, 1.
One.
Alrighty, welcome to the Hunters Hub. We are a video game podcast born of the Monster Hunter community. I'm trying to change that up so people know what we are to begin with. And tonight we're talking about spooky games. I am your host, Fortuan, joined by co-host Pan. How we doing tonight?
I am doing fantastic. How about you guys?
I'm getting over a
great.
cold.
Thanks for asking.
Full of grilled cheese and homemade tomato soup and alcohol.
Yay!
Could you be
Partially.
more Wisconsin?
I mean, no. Unless if I were to finish it off with like a root beer float or something like that, or have like cheese curds on the side.
What could I say that would make me more Ohio? Like, I don't even know what that would be.
I think you'd say OHIO, go Buckeyes, that kind of thing.
But I don't care about football.
Cleveland Rock, Ohio.
Yep.
I've
The
never
Drew
even
Carey show
been to
from back in the
Cleveland.
day.
Yeah, I know. I loved the Drew Carey show. That was a good one. But, anyways, welcome back, Sasha. Glad to have you back.
Thank you. I am glad to be back. How have you guys been?
Pretty good. My kids got their COVID shots, so that's been a fun weekend. Their arms hurting, fevers, and all that stuff. So,
Tell them just to spin their arm around like a helicopter the whole time.
oh no.
Tire themselves out so they go to sleep.
Cece can't handle it. You barely touch her arm and
No?
she screams. Like, it's just she's a bit sensitive. So, we're going to be talking about spooky games tonight, and we're actually going to go on two different categories for this. We're going to go with spooky games in general, and then also times where we're unexpectedly spooked by a game. I don't have a lot on this topic, as well as Pan. We are not spooky game players, but Sasha, this is her near specialty.
I have some disclaimers about that. But
Okay. And then Ace is a little bit more experienced than us two as well in that genre.
Until the immersion was broke when you could glue your hand back onto
Oh
the
yeah,
severed part of your hand back onto the stump with
yeah.
like the healing spooge.
Resident Evil. Yeah. Yep.
Real quick, Fortuan, we gotta say a little bit about how we are recorded before a live Twitch audience every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Central,
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern.
6 p.m. California time, whatever they call it.
Pacific.
There you go. Pacific. That's the
And
ocean.
nobody cares about Mountain Time. Nobody cares about Mountain Time. Nobody lives in Mountain Time.
It's just 1 hour more than that. It's just 7 o'clock there.
There's nobody in Mountain Time Zone. It's a myth.
Stop being mean to Sasquatch.
Are we just saying that because that's where Morg's time zone is?
No, I totally forgot that. No, I'm saying it because it's such a like nobody actually lives in Mountain Time Zone except is Denver in Mountain Time? Shit, Denver might be in Mountain Time.
It might be.
I forgot about Denver. Sorry, Denver. You're a wonderful place.
As far as Mort goes, he lives in the barren wilderness that is Canada. So yeah, he might as well be a Sasquatch, right? All he needs is to just be filmed doing that slow walk through the forest.
Except there'd be little vape clouds above him.
Yeah.
That's true.
True that. Or occasionally a pipe.
So spooky games.
Yeah, spooky games. So I thought it was a good idea to talk about this because we missed Halloween with everybody. I think the Halloween night is where Ace abandoned me and I was left with two guests.
That's pretty much what I did.
I abandoned you. Yeah, I abandoned you ahead of time. I give you like 6 days notice and Ace just ghosted.
And also, I was going to make a joke at my dating life because women are still ghosting me, and apparently it's still October. So here we are. Now, that's an old joke because she ghosted me like last week, but whatever. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to talk about spooky games. Ace, I'm going to have you lead off because like I'm pretty sure I only have an example of like one each as well.
Well, then we can just mash two together. Dead Space 1 and 2 are definitely spoopy games. I mean, they've got all the classical things like the jump scares and things scuttling around in the vents and the mutant zombie babies that just have their weird triple tentacles that like shoot out projectiles.
Now, this is where I have the problem with scary stuff because either it's incredibly boring to me or it's too scary. And this one isn't boring, but I'm not scared by it. So it's just sort of like, here feels like generic action game number 2. Like it just feels that way to me a lot of the time.
Well, I mean, I would say it
But I've
definitely
never finished
plays
it.
on the horror. I would say it definitely plays on the horror and the scary elements more so in the first one
Yeah.
than the second one because they lean more into the action with the second one.
But they
But,
do
like-
get into some body horror in the second one with that needle.
Oh yeah, and then just like the sequence where you return to the USG Ishimura, that I was incredibly unnerved by. And then I mean in the first one, they also have just like the really eerie moments, like you're walking down this one hallway and you just hear like a distant tong
Yeah.
tong tong, and you come around the corner and it's just like this guy standing there slowly bonking his head against like a steel beam, and then eventually just hits it so hard that his head like explodes.
Hmm.
So that's always fun.
Yeah.
I thought that the Leviathan was scary in the first one, and it's because for me personally, I think like monsters on a massive scale are kind of scary.
Oh yeah.
And I remember watching my husband play this game, and before, I didn't know anything about it, but I'm like looking at everything, and I saw this giant hole in the bottom of the wall, and I'm like, you're about to fight something really big. And he's like, no, that's probably just like from an explosion. And I think like 2 chapters later is Leviathan, and I'm like, what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's the hive mind, I think, is what it's called. And then you've also got like the even tinier ones that are worse, because there's the tentacle-y ones that slither around the ground, and that some of them actually have like a head on them, and if you don't take care of them and they actually manage to kill you, they pop your head off and then shoot their tentacles down your neck and then start puppeteering your body. So, all kinds of creepy, fucked up shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got the body horror in that series for sure.
I am a big ol' sissy about scary games. Like I can watch all kinds of movies and I'm totally unmoved, but scary games are a bit of a challenge, and I think specifically the ones where there's inventory management and you can really fuck up if you are not good at shooters, which is me under pressure. So I tend to watch my husband play games like this, but Dead Space is scary to me, and I probably could work it out eventually, but
Right.
I had my fill just watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I've played some of it. Like I think I got through chapter 3, I think, when I tried to play it again on PC before I moved on to other things at the time. It just didn't grab me.
20% hopeful for the remake that they're doing.
Now, if they did something like, what was the one you talked about, Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice or
Yes.
something, where you wear your headphones there's the talking, and it's you're
Mhm.
supposed to be like her inner monologue. I think they could really do something with Dead Space, doing something like that, because Isaac's an unreliable narrator,
Yeah.
as you learn eventually.
Mhm.
So the headset, I think, could really step up their game.
Yeah.
I think it'd also be cool if, like, I'm pretty sure the DualSense 5 controllers don't have that feature, and I don't think the Xbox ones do. It'd be cool if, like, the controllers had like a built-in pulse monitor, so that it could fuck with you harder when it knows that you're scared or stressed out.
That's not fun. I would not hook myself up to that.
I feel like just like my general caffeine intake would make the controller think I'm stressed out, even if I wasn't.
Yeah, what if you just generally have high blood pressure? Like, you're just... It's just like, is it just going to take it easy on you then? Because you're already scared, or... No, it'll make it worse? Like, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like more things attached to my body. I just want a controller. That's it.
Have it be smart software where it can take your microphone input and use that. So you actually have to be, like, quiet. And if you're too loud, it'll fuck you over.
You know,
didn't they do that with Alien Isolation?
I mean, Microsoft already got
That
busted
would
for
fuck me.
listening to people through their Xbox Connects. So I don't want to give more
Yeah, but-
opportunities.
That would
Well-
F me up.
Well, I mean, we each have, like, a NSA or whatever agent attached.
That's
Or at
what I'm
least
saying.
Cycling through,
Xbox
through
was
every now and then.
was revealed as a key partner in the NSA listening to the public stuff. That was part of the reason why the Xbox backlash happened for Xbox One. As I like to call it, the Xbox 180.
So Fort, there is some kind of tapping sound coming through when you were talking.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. That is my router.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Nothing we can do. Cool.
Nope. I was messing with it earlier. I gotta
Okay.
I gotta get a dead switch is what I gotta do. It doesn't have any
Okie dokie.
intelligence. And yep. It's so that I can have a wired connection to my PS5 and my computer.
Yeah, Steve's been trying to
fun,
diagnose the tapping sound for like 5 minutes now.
No, I'm sorry. It's just there. Yeah.
Just
It's
GoFundMe
normally
to get
not.
company to run cable out to your location.
It was a nightmare getting a wired connection to this computer to begin with, and in order to split that wired connection, I had to use this. It's my old NetDuma router, and it just clicks. It just don't know why.
Yeah.
Can you throw a blankie on it?
No,
Oh, okay.
that was me trying.
Okay.
It's behind the art monitor.
Okay.
So I'll actually show you guys. So it's like back in there. I don't know if you guys can see.
Oh, rip. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you can filter it out. Maybe you can filter it out, like, or at least reduce it a bit in the editing.
Maybe. Hey, you can see my Doom shirt better.
Yeah.
Hey,
This is the
Yeah,
only.
you're actually a little better framed like this.
got tacos and tequila.
This is the. This was one of the games I'm actually going to talk about today.
I've got a BRB, but you guys keep going.
So Dead Space. That's where we were. I will say the Leviathan probably wouldn't have scared me because I am a Monster Hunter veteran and they are all large. They're not that large, but
Well, I kind of mean like, have you seen the movie Underwater?
not yet. No.
Okay. Well, then I'm not going to go any further, but I just mean that a monster that seems kind of undefeatable
Mm-hmm.
because it's this massive scale and you're just this tiny little speck of a human is a lot scarier to me than
Sure.
like a slasher or something. So the Leviathan was the peak of the fear for me in space.
I mean, you get that aspect from like Leo Shun or Delameter in Monster Hunter. You come up to its toe in Leo Shun Lung. I know you're not familiar with Monster Hunter, but you're about the length of a toe, which is you're not a speck, right? You're larger than that, but they're still massive monsters. And this thing was so big that it would just slowly walk towards a goal, and your basically goal was to stop it before it got there and destroyed the thing, like it was a fort it was attacking. It didn't even care about you. You could you would hit it and make it flinch and stuff, but it was generally just like, yeah, you're an annoying bug. I'm not going to worry about you until now. It actually never directly attacks you. There's actually unless you go up on a bridge, he'll put his head up and snap at you on the bridge once. So yeah, I get the idea though. If it feels insurmountable, I feel like that is a certain kind of dread, I would say. I would have liked to talk about Metroid Dread today. I still haven't played it yet. So
it's going to be a long time coming when you eventually finally can.
I was promised that we are going to record Tuesday, which means I can start playing Dread Tuesday. This is what I was promised.
Hopefully.
Whether this happens or not is up to my buddy Jacob, because Brian has already rolled credits on No More Heroes 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess there's two games I could talk about that are spooky. I just realized that. Anyways, so I'll go into mine. And this is just like a general spooky game, not a time that I was unexpectedly spookified, or startled, whatever you want to call it. So the original Doom was, even though I started playing it when I was 5, there are certain levels, certain maps that I hated because they were so atmospheric, dark, depressing, that kind of stuff. So Doom 2 was sort of like my game of choice in those days, and still is. I think Doom 2 has always just been better than Doom 1. You beat level 1. It's got this mix up sort of I mean, most Doom music is rock in some way. You get to the Underhalls, and it's literally level 2 of Doom 2, and it's just like burn, 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 burn. It's like the soundtrack, and it's just like this off-putting, off-key thing, and you're in the darkness. There's not a lot of light, and there's surprise shotgunners around every corner. And anyone who plays Doom a lot knows that even though the shotgunner is literally the second enemy you ever see, no, probably third. Anyways, they're like a trash monster in any other game, right? You shoot them a couple times, they die. They are still some of the scariest and most damaging monsters in the series because of the way Doom works. There's hit scan versus projectile monsters. They're hit scanners. So they shoot, there's just a random chance they hit you. And if they hit you with enough, it can take up to I think it's 80% of your life. And they're a low tier monster. So when you're in a big firefight, shotgunners are your number one priority after chain gunners, which is the same reason. They're hit scanners. So it's just it's even when you're a Doom veteran, these things are scary at times. They can startle you because you're oh no, I gotta take care of this now. Or you walk into a trap and walls open up and there's 16 of them and you're I guess I die now. I guess I'm just dead. So like, and the underhalls is just full of them with this like creepy music, and it's like not well lit at a lot of parts. You're actually in a sewer, so like walking through like water and stuff, it's just creepy. And and you know, as an adult, it doesn't creep me out, but as a kid, I didn't like it. I would beat level 1, and I'd be like, all right, that's cool. I'm done for today. I'm not going anymore. Nope, I'm good. And of course, just in general, you know, there's all sorts of like crazy like mods and now for Doom, and there's specific horror ones now. I've seen a few. They're like, you know, just generic horror games where it's like, oh, there's this jump scare coming out, like Slender Man stuff, like that level of just like go through the woods. Suddenly there's a creepy thing. Oh gosh, you don't have enough rockets to kill it, like kind of thing. So I guess that would be a spooky game. And it can still be spooky depending on the mod if you wanna get spooked, or you know, if you're just into the meta and you know that a wall of shotgunners is just your death, that can spook you too. So that's mine. One of mine. So Pan or Sasha, which one do you guys want to do?
So, all right. So, like I said, I'm very familiar with a lot of horror games, but because my husband play them, so the ones that I actually play tend to be like point and click horror. So, I don't want to talk about The Walking Dead though. I would like to talk about one maybe you guys haven't heard of.
Okay.
So I like this science fiction author, Harlan Ellison, and most of the time his stuff is pretty like sci-fi, but there's one short story he has that is really, really unsettling. It's like a mind banger for me. I thought about it for a long time after I read it, and it's called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. And it's about this AI supercomputer that destroys the Earth and keeps 5 humans in kind of like a AI dimension and tortures them.
Yeah.
And so there's a point and click game of that. And
Pan's talked about this.
Unsettling.
Yeah, Pan has actually talked about this before. I'm gonna keep moving my mic away from the router.
I was trying to remember who the hell is Harlan Ellison. Why do I know that name? I just found the Wikipedia page. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
I've discussed this game before.
So I had read the short stories. I kind of knew what I was getting myself into, and I've played a lot of horror point and clicks. I load this game up. I'm sitting in my bed at night, headphones on, and the soundtrack's kind of unsettling. It's like intentionally discordant. It's like because the enemy is this supercomputer, you know, you have this like kind of like techno background with the music, and it just like pulls you into it. You kind of switch in between these 5 characters as they last or don't. There's slightly different endings than what you are going to get in the story, the short story. So I guess there's like possibly a happier ending, but I didn't get that. Yeah, I didn't get that. I got a little bit closer to what happens in the short story, and I was equally upset. I had to stop playing and come back to it later. And it's not a long story, it's not a long playthrough, but it really got under my skin as I was playing it. And it really shouldn't. It's point and click. You go at your own pace. You can mute the music if you want. It's whatever. But I would say of all of the horror point and click games, that one is the scariest.
Also, that intro where he narrates it.
Yeah, I think you actually had a sample of that we listened to that was just like...
Yeah, I made you guys listen to it. Harlan Ellison's the guy doing that voice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Spooky shit.
And so if you haven't read it, I also highly recommend it. If you're into spooky stuff, it's not a long read. It is very well written, but it is a mind banger. I'll say that.
A lot of his work is. A lot. Well, yeah, you know, you said you're a fan of his. Yeah, a lot of his work is that 70s and 60s sci-fi. It was either about the space race or it was about you know,
Tripping
doing
balls.
shrooms in space and
Yeah.
finding Cthulhu and God and finding out they're the same person.
Yeah. Oh boy. Actually, as we're talking, I keep thinking of more games, but we'll see. We'll see. So I have no mouth and I must scream. Yeah.
Yep.
That's just a creepy title alone. Like, yeah.
In reading the short story, you know, like I had my own images in my head which were unsettling, and I didn't think that it would be worse playing the game, but there were some things I guess I really did not visualize until I played the game. Then I read the story afterwards again with then that imagery, which made it a little bit more unsettling, I think.
Yep. And I mean, you know, this is the guy that wrote A Boy and His Dog. So, you know, if you think he's not going to go there, you're wrong.
Yeah.
A Boy and His Dog. It's an effed up story about the post-apocalypse. It also inspired Fallout.
Boy, giving me more reasons to not like Fallout. Not that Fallout is that exactly, but okay. So Pan, another spooky game for you?
Well, I got a moment when I got real spooked and was not expecting to get spooked.
Okay.
So, picture it. Me, a tender 10, 11-year-old. I just finally got over my trauma with Superman 64.
Yes.
I've got an actual good game. I've got my tiny little TV, which was maybe half the size of the computer monitor I'm using now.
Oh.
I got my N64 hooked up to it. I mean, I have a decent-sized monitor. But I got my N64 hooked up to my tiny-ass TV in my bedroom, and my brothers can't.
2 guesses in my brain. I'll tell you if they're right when you get there.
Well, my brothers cannot kick me off this TV because it's in my room, and it's my N64 and my TV, so, you know, I'm going to play it as long as I want.
Right.
So, you know, I stay up real late and play it. It's way dark. I don't even know what time it was because, you know, I didn't have a phone to check the time.
Yeah.
I was 10, 11 years old and didn't care. And, you know, I'm playing Ocarina of Time. I just got Zelda's Lullaby, and I'm playing that damn song on everything because apparently it makes stuff happen. So I wander over to the graveyard in Kakarika Village, and I stand at the tomb of the royal family, and I play that little tune.
This was my second guess.
And fall into the hole, and oh, hey, there's a couple bats in here, whatever. Kill the bats, the torches light up, and hey, door open, cool. Let's go see what's past this door. Oh, there's some dudes over there. Let's go talk to them. Oh my god! And then that ear-piercing re-dead sound, and then it humps me to death, and then I'm deaded.
Ugh. It just gave me a cold chill remembering the time I first heard those. Oh.
Yep. And then I halted my progress in Zelda until basically I could like get online because I had to get down to the family computer, get online, find my like video game message board friends, and ask them how they got past the re-deads.
Oh, jeez.
Which was dicey to do because 1, my mom didn't want me on using message boards, and 2, anytime we used the computer, the phone was locked up.
Yeah.
Use the internet, not the computer.
Yeah, I remember those days. Yep.
So yeah, that was a time when I got spooked and was not expecting it. But goddamn, did I know what to do when you know he's grown up Link and he's trying to get out of town.
Yeah, run, just run. It is not.
Just run behind all of them. Just run.
My mentality in games a lot of times is to kill everything in sight. Just like clear cut, full clear every room. That's just my mentality. Ocarina of Time broke me of that. For that game in particular, because it's like, no, I'm not facing all those re-dead. I did once. I did go through the whole town of what is it? Just Hyrule City, right? What's the name of the town?
Hyrule Castletown.
Yeah. I did go through Castletown and kill every Re-Dead, even going through the back alleys once, to no avail. It's entirely
I did it
useless.
once.
Yeah, there's no reason to do it, so I just don't do it now. But like, yeah, even the first time, I was like, nope, I don't want that. I'm good. I'm out. I don't even know what these are. I don't know what this is. Like, I don't know if I saw them in as Kid Link before I turned to Adult Link or not. I don't know if it's required to do that first.
Nope, it's not.
So, but I do think I normally do that before I turn adult for the first time, usually. I think. I don't know. It's been a long time since I played Ocarina of Time. But I have 100% that game 3 separate times, too. So, it's just, I don't know. It's just, yeah. The Re-Dead, I'm honestly surprised they didn't really pop up in Breath of the Wild. They've kind of become like a staple of the series. And they just
I know!
That would have been a good environment, that's for sure.
They weren't in Skyward Sword either.
They would have been pretty appropriate in Breath of the Wild, too.
I mean, the first time you see one of the monks, that's what I think they are at first.
Yeah, they are. No, the monks. I've talked about this as it relates to D&D. The monks are supposed to be Sokushin Butsu. It's a thing that was pretty popular among Japanese Buddhist monks. It started in China, but like it migrated over to Japan, and they just thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, a Buddhist monk will basically he's decided, he's ready to move on to enlightenment, and so he will slowly starve himself to death and eat and drink only like teas that contain like natural preservatives, basically, and it basically like pine needle tea, and eat only like cooked pine needles until he starves to death, and then they wall him up. They wall his body up inside like a room, and don't open it for a couple years. And when they open it up a couple years later, if the body has like been perfectly preserved, then that means the monk has moved on to enlightenment and can grant further wisdom through his eternally preserved body. Yeah, it was a thing, and I was like, it's a good lich, is what it is. It's a holy lich. So they pop up in my D&D games a lot.
Okay.
But they're supposed to be Sokushin Butsu.
Interesting, at least.
Yeah.
Also creepy as hell, but interesting.
Yeah. It was outlawed. I don't remember when. I went on like a super deep dive on this. I was gonna like do a whole write up about it, and then I kind of had that falling out with Hippo, so I canceled that write up. But yeah.
Yeah. I get you. So just as an aside, are you ever gonna post to that site again or no?
I don't have time.
That's fair.
That's the bigger thing. Like,
because
Hippo
I still
and I had that
there.
falling out a week after I started my job that I'm working at.
Right.
So I have not had time.
For context, for Ace and Sasha and listeners, Pan and I met through Reddit on D&D Behind the Screen, subreddit for Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and we both are ex-moderators of said site and have left due to aforementioned person who runs the site.
Yeah.
I was part of a mass exodus of mods. He fired us all of us at once, and then Pan came on sometime after that. But we stayed together, and we still have a group of us that still hang out and talk D&D. And
Yeah.
And I mentioned before, Phoenix is the person who helped me with the art stuff lately. She was part of that group.
Yeah. Yeah, but he and I had a falling out, and that happened a week after I got my new job, and I've just been throwing myself into that, and I ain't got time. I ain't got time to spend like 8 hours writing up a dungeon.
He booted me off within 2 weeks of me learning about my divorce process. So, like, I was like, whatever, man. Bigger fish to fry right now. Yeah, it didn't matter to me at the time. But yeah, I still post there because that's where I do my ecology. So, yay! Spiders was the last one for Halloween. Hey, it's a corgi.
No, it's a Japanese dog.
Shiba
The Doji.
Inu.
It's a Doge.
Shiba Inu, isn't that the breed?
There's two. Shiba Inu and there's another one.
Oh, yeah. I guess it's not fluffy. Well,
Fox dog.
Gotcha. And that right there is my dog. That little black and white lump curled in a corner.
Mm-hmm. That's our friend Sam's dog.
Mine
He
passed
is.
out on the bed here.
Nice.
The other one's the Akita Inu.
Ah, okay. Akita.
That's the big one.
Gotcha. That's Hachi, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that Richard Gere movie. So, Ace, we're back to you.
Spooky games again.
Spooky! Spook us. Oh, okay. That was a meta one. He just froze. Thanks. Thanks for spooking me on your internet connection there.
I mean, if you want, I could like do the Kubrick stare and just like.
That just doesn't look right. Just don't do that. Oh no, the camera started to fall.
It's a ghost. You're haunted.
Ghosts. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Another one I would say would be Until Dawn, the
Okay.
story-based interactive game where it's basically just a lot of QTEs and stuff like that while a story unfolds. And I would say there's definitely a lot of eerie, creepy moments in that. And they start off pretty much right off the bat because they've got the whole thing where you're heading to the cabin at first and you're going through the... God, you are such a fucking cute dog. Okay. Literally just down for the count.
Yeah.
Where you're walking through the woods and you're getting like angles from far away as you like walk towards and around the camera and stuff. And there ends up being like a dead deer along the path.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it must have just happened too and stuff like that. So it's like, not sure I like this right now. And then as you know, with more events that unfold, you get to go to a creepy old abandoned asylum with some not so dead miners from like the 40s or 30s or whatever.
Right. Okay. Speaking of which, that made me think the dead deer. First horror movie that I've wanted to see in a long time, Antlers, is either out or coming out. And it's about a Wendigo. So I want to see it.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that so far. So that'll definitely be one. And I think that's A24 film too. A24 has been doling out some pretty good horror movies.
Ah. Okay. I was like, is that a new age rating? Like you have to be 24 years or older? Like
No, A24 Studios, they've done two of my most recent favorite horror movies. Hereditary and Midsummer.
Summer is, I think, like one of my favorite movies. Honestly, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot about me as a person, but
well, you're just into horror stuff in general. I mean, we met through the horror version chat group, so
yeah, Midsummer is a beautiful, visually a really beautiful movie, and then all the stuff that happens because it's visually stunning messes with you.
Right.
That's basically meant to unnerve you and make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like that opening scene that you go through is definitely like one of the hardest things that I can imagine to go through. And like it's really unsettling just to like watch it And then I mean, like, they in horror version they discuss it like it's bullshit that both like Toni Collette and Florence Pugh haven't gotten like Oscar nominations for those roles because they deliver some really like disturbing and emotional performances in those movies, and like just the grief that comes through with like both of them with the events that happen in both of those movies.
Mhm.
I just don't think they got their fair credit
I think
like at all.
I finally listened to the Get Out episode 2, and they talked about this as well. That essentially they don't want to give awards out to things that are horror movies. And,
No.
and it's not fair. It's
Which is
better than
bullshit.
it's better than most of the movies that are coming out, and we're supposed to call them these
Yeah.
films. They're not movies; they're films, and they're excellent.
And that's the thing too, like there's definitely grounds for it because I would say in a lot of regards Parasite is a fucking horror movie. Because like you've got one family that is like slowly latching itself and weaseling its way into this rich family. And meanwhile, there's a smaller family that's living literally underneath all of that. Like, do you know how disturbing that would be to find out that there's like a basement below the basement and there's just some guy down there that's been like for years just flipping light switches? Like,
Yeah.
that's like a close it off and wall it up situation. That's like
Burn it down, walk away, burn the hell house down. Oh man, that reminded me. Today, I was doing some stuff for my dad. We were like tarping down a car, and then I came in. My mom asked me to do something, and some like we have like a lazy Susan beneath the counter. It's like the corner of the cabinets. So she's like, something fell down behind there and I can't reach it. So I need you to reach back there and grab whatever fell. So I reached my hand back there and I just put my hand through like a giant like spider web, right? And I'm not afraid of spiders, but I'm like, this could have been like a recluse or a black widow because I can't see shit. I just put my hand through it. Just hand through web. Just thick spider web. It was like what was that? Some kind of cartoon used a stick and wound it up and made like cotton candy out of it. Like I felt like I could just swivel my hand around and have like spiderweb cotton candy, and I was just like, this was unnerving.
It was Shrek, and then they blew up a frog and made the frog into a balloon.
Yes,
Thank you. I was trying to remember what movie that was.
Yeah, I like it. It gave me those vibes sticking my hand through that thing where stuff fell behind, and I was like, oh gosh, no. I'm not afraid of spiders, but this was not fun. That just happened today too. So Ace, I'm gonna potentially steal one from you, because you've talked about it a lot recently, and I will not play it. I will not, but it was interesting, and that's Doki Doki Literature Club.
That was going to be my scared instance.
Yeah, that one's creepy. Now, it's got a couple jump scares, but like the creepiness of that game. I don't remember who I was watching, because I watched a lot of different YouTubers play this. And I think it was Jesse Cox that I watched that was like, there's he went to date the quiet girl. I don't remember her name. But the one with the purple long hair.
Oh, come on.
For those of the unfamiliar, this is a horror game masked as a dating sim. That goes all kinds of fucked up once you pursue your childhood friend and then you find her hanging in her apartment. And the tone of the game switches hard when you walk in on her. Like, it just...
Yeah, it goes from like beautiful, whimsical to like, oh, that's a dead body.
and the music distorts, and like your dialogue goes immediately to what the fuck, like it's just like, and then like
Yuri.
Okay. So the first time I was legitimately, I was just like, okay, that's kind of creepy. But like the first time I was legit like, oh no, is Yuri's death essentially, where she commits suicide, doesn't she? She stabs herself.
Oh yeah, she does.
And
it isn't just like a it's like a she does it like 3 or 4 times,
and
it's
you kind of can't tell what's like you see what happens, and you're like, oh, that's crazy, and you think she's dying, and you're standing there with her trying to like comfort her or whatever your character is, but you see this like garbly-gook message come up, and you have to skip like there's like 70 messages of garbly-gook or something like that, but each one that goes through, you'll see, you realize in timeline this happens on a Friday night in the game, and you'll see it turn orange, black, orangish yellow, day, orange, black, yellow. Like, you don't realize that you're just so out of it that you've been there for 3 days, and you start to see her rot in front of you. And it's just like, holy cow, like, this is not okay. And
then the other characters come back in on Monday with the school day.
And so many people just like turn off the game at that point, not because they're scared, because they're like, "What is? Why do I have? Why am I stuck on this dialogue? Why does he keep giving me the same garbly-gook?" And it took till watching Jesse Cox where he just like it clicked for him. He's like, "Oh no! I've been here for 3 days. I've been watching her rot. Like, oh no!" And then one of the classmates comes in early on Monday morning and sees her there and like throws up and stuff. It's just like, holy cow, like this is just got fucked up quick. And then
and then Monica swoops in. Oops, you shouldn't have seen that. Were you here all weekend? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me reset it for you.
Yeah, and she resets the game. Yeah. No, that's I mean, to me that was the creepiest part of that game. Is Yuri. So since you were going to talk about it, what was your thing, Ace?
I don't know. Like, definitely each individual like
death
story that you go through has its own like, freaky and unnerving parts to it.
That was the one that got me the most.
When you get to the ending of the game though, and you don't realize it at first, but depending on what account you have, it reads your fucking account. And so it'll pop up like your actual account name. And it'll say, or are you so-and-so? And the first time that happened to me, because I just went with like some random nothing name, and then it just called me out by like my actual like Steam username, and I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah. Or are you Fortuan? I probably named it Fortuan anyway, so it wouldn't have got me, but yeah. Seeing that when that happened on Game Grumps and Aaron getting freaked out was a bit nice. Like, Aaron was like, I didn't type in that name. How does it know my name? Like,
And just all the little ways that the game fucks with you. Because, like, it's different on the Switch, but playing it on PC, there's a sequence in it later, too, once you've gone through at least the first cycle, where Sayori dies. Then it's, like, the second one, it has, like, it pops up all 3 of the remaining girls' names, and, of course, Monica, she's the one that's secretly pulling the strings. It automatically makes the mouse hover to her name, and it'll like force it no matter how hard you try. And if you're lucky enough to click a different name, it'll fuck with you, and the game will like glitch or do like a jump scare or something like that.
Huh. Yeah, this game's fucked up. This game is. That's why it was like a YouTube craze for a while, because everyone was just like, "What is going on?" It took like a lot of people to put their heads together and figure it out too. That was cool too.
Well, yeah, like Dan said in their playthrough on Game Grumps, he thought it was going to be like a fun dating sim that would have like, ooh, a sexy twist at the festival and blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
nope.
Nope. Turns out everyone's gonna fucking die, and you're gonna be questioning yourself.
Time to empty your intestines into yourself. Boy, that bounces a lot when I laugh. Okay, so I guess we will move on to Sasha. We talked a lot about Doki. Oh gosh.
All right. So, kind of like what I was talking about before with why I haven't actually played Dead Space, is why I have been able to get through this next thing of time that I probably shouldn't have been afraid, but I was, and continue to be until I achieve a certain progression in my character development. But in Fallout 3, I hate the DC ruins. I hate being in the subway tunnels. I feel really claustrophobic in there. I am afraid of the super mutants in the very beginning of the game because I feel really weak and I don't have enough supplies to protect myself or actually kill them. So I had to come up with another way to play the game to actually explore that area. Because the first time I played the game, I don't think I even went to DC until I was probably like level maybe like 15.
Okay.
Because the first time I went, I turned right back around. So I like to get my sneak up as high as I can to possibly just not fight them at all. But I don't feel safe until I have like 1,000 bullets of my preferred ammo type.
Sure.
And so for me, ammo is the currency, not bottle caps a lot of times. So I stock up pretty early on in trading things to hoard for ammo, preparing for this. And then also kind of like what I was saying before with this like massive scale of things. The first time I saw a super mutant behemoth in a Fallout,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh no, disengage. I'm like trying to back up out of it, but it's part of the story mission, so there's really no choice. Like you have to finish the fight. So pretty much all of my first experiences going through the DC ruins, fighting super mutant, some of the missions I avoided doing because I knew I was going to have to explore locations that were filled with super mutants.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
well, if you don't do too well with subterranean things like subway stations, be forewarned that at least in Metro Exodus, because that's the only game I've played in the series, although I do have the other ones because I got them for like $5 or $6 each on sale for PlayStation. Metro has some underground levels, and in that you're playing in like a post-nuclear apocalypse Russia. There are some interesting sequences that take place in that game.
Yeah, I don't know. That tapping came back all over again.
I've thought about playing Metro, but I know that part of that game's appeal is the survival aspect, and
Sure.
There's really not the option to play the way that I play, which is over prepare with supplies, so I feel comfortable. I don't.
Well,
think
there somewhat is, because it's not like you don't have like a weight system or anything like that. It's basically just like maintaining health with health kits and stuff like that, and finding scraps to make bandages and stuff like that, and different ammo types. So it's not too intensive, I would say, in comparison to like Fallout or other games like that.
I will say, as far as like just Fallout having the monsters that they do, which is more generically just like mutants and people, but they have the what are they called, the Fell Claws or something like that, like the really
Death
bestial
Claws.
Death Claws. like, just compare Fallout 3 to the equivalent of, like, let's say Oblivion or Skyrim, right? Like, generic fantasy stuff has some really creepy things, usually. I don't find anything near as, I don't know, spooky as a Deathclaw in any of the Elder Scrolls series. Like, Draugr is probably about the closest to a horror monster you get in Skyrim. Like,
I don't know. I think if they had Spider Daedra in some of the better graphic games, that those things are disgusting. I wouldn't like them.
I don't know. I've
not seen a Spider Daedra, so I might be wrong on that one.
I think fighting a flying Thomas the Tank Engine would be pretty horrifying.
No.
Okay,
No.
have you seen Ant-Man?
Yes. Yeah, I've seen Ant-Man.
Because I just started cracking up, so all I could think of was the Thomas the Tank Engine's mod in Skyrim.
Oh, yeah, no. That was on purpose. That was on purpose.
Or like a giant Pez dispenser.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm sorry for the audio listeners. The clicking is getting worse, and my audio is getting worse. Like, I'm just gonna have to take this router out. Screw my PlayStation. It's going back to wireless. I don't know. Yeah, but I was saying, like, the Deathclaws, I don't think there was anything in Skyrim that I was just like, nope. I mean, maybe some of the big dwarven machine things, I was like, what the fuck is that? Where I was...
The dragon priests, in theory, are kind of scary, but I think all of Skyrim is kind of cartoony to me, so
yeah,
it's kind of hard to think after that it's scary. Same thing with Daedroths in Oblivion should be scary. They're just like Deathclaws. They look more like crocodiles,
yeah,
I guess. But because it's so cartoony, it really takes you out of it.
Yeah, I'm just used to that kind of stuff, and like if it's in a D&D setting, it's really hard to scare me. If it's like a sword and sorcery, which is like my bread and butter, I'm just like, yeah, cool. I mean, I don't know. I just don't find that, like, there could be stuff like, I mean, some of the ecology stuff I've written, like black dragons are supposed to be scary, right? But you look at a black dragon and you're like, adventure. You're not like, oh, this is scary. Like, you know, they talk about the pickling, like where they pickle people. They poison them and they put them in fetid water and pickle them and then eat them. That's supposed to be scary. And it's just like, oh yeah, it's just black dragon shit. Yeah, we know that. That's fine.
No, they've got a side career.
Yeah. I mean, like, dwarven pickles are the best. They're selling really well. Like
Peter Piper's pickled people.
Yeah. So like,
I'll have plenty of stock for the farmers market next weekend.
But I guess because I'm less familiar with Fallout setting, like when I did run into like a Deathclaw in Fallout 3, I was just like, nope, bye. Don't know what that is. Later. Like,
the Deathclaws in Fallout 3 are very weak compared to the Deathclaws in New Vegas. So I got this like inflated ego about it, and the first time I fought a Deathclaw in New Vegas, I got fucked up bad, and then I avoided them until I think I had like a 50 caliber weapon.
oh geez. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. So Fallout. That's not what I expected from you. I thought you'd be like, nah, this is just easy street for you, but okay.
Well, I had to learn to play smart so that I could get over it.
Right. Okay. All right. So Pan, do you have another one?
I have other times where I wasn't expecting to get spooked, and then I got real spooked.
Okay.
So this is another one from Zelda. This one's from Majora's Mask.
I mean,
go ahead and start. Yeah.
Yeah, it is Majora's Mask, but yes, continue.
Yeah. So there's two moments in Majora's Mask that scared the bejesus out of me, and I didn't expect it. The first one is when you're doing the Cafe and Andrew sequence. You know, you're doing all that bullshit to like get Cafe and Andrew's wedding like set up right.
Okay. I mean, I've never played Majora's Mask, but
Oh, okay, okay.
aside from like the first, I've told you about this, where I couldn't figure out to use the Song of Time, like a normal sane person, so I just kept dying. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so there's this whole thing where like somebody wants like item widget A, but so you go to get some widget A, but the widget A maker is only going to make widget A's if you go get him widget B. So you got to go over to widget B, dude.
Right. Yeah.
And you do this back and forth for like 30 NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to like get this like couple's wedding set up. And it's actually very interesting because there's a lot of plot to go with this, but one of the bullshit trades you have to make, it's also like very timed. If you're not talking to the right NPC at the exact right time with the exact right item in your inventory, it's just not happening. So just go look up the guide.
Yeah.
You just look up the guide like I did. So one of the things you got to do is you got to have this notarized piece of paper, and you got to be like in the third toilet stall of the inn at exactly midnight on the first day or something like that.
What?
And this hand reaches up out of the toilet and says, "Hey, buddy, do you got any toilet paper with you?" And you give him this notarized document.
Yeah.
And that hand just shooting up out of the toilet like that scared the crap out of me. I didn't know. I didn't know.
I wasn't aware that Skyward Sword was doing a callback when they talked about using a love note as toilet paper. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so you give that guy the thing, and then he'll give you a thing to give to somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really stupid. The other one. So, one of the big things about one of the recurring themes in Majora's Mask is literally the concept of healing, like healing from like mental trauma or physical trauma, and it's sort of a recurring theme in Majora's Mask. So you get to the fourth zone, which is basically themed around undead, more or less, and you get a mask that makes it so that re-deads and the mummy-looking re-deads think you're one of them, so you can talk to them like they're NPCs.
Oh, instead of them sucking your life out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's this house just sitting in the middle of nowhere, and there's a house sitting in the middle of nowhere, and there's just zombies circling around it at all times. Mm-hmm. And you can't get into the house until you do a whole bunch of other bullshit. You do all the bullshit, you restore the river, and their little water wheel starts going, and then they can play this music that repels zombies, and then all the zombies run away. And you go up and knock on the door, and they're like, "Go away, go away." It's been ages since I've played it, but you do some stuff to get them to open the door. And there's like this little girl, and she's like, "Go away, my daddy's sick, and he can't see anyone." I'm like, "Well, don't worry, little girl, I'm here to help." And you go into the basement, and her dad pops out of a sarcophagus and he's a mummy, and he just like does the scream and attacks you, and you have like 3 seconds to like figure out how you stop this guy from eating you.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah. Also, this little girl's apparently been taking care of her undead father for the last several weeks.
Now, I know you guys haven't played Diablo 3 as much, but that really reminded me of the dead wife in the basement bit. Have you seen that, Pan? That's pretty early in the game.
No, but it's a kind of a recurring trope in H.P. Lovecraft stuff.
Yeah, so like you do all this stuff to help out this guy, and he wants you to do something for his wife. And then so you take it down to the basement, and the wife is just a skeleton in a rocking chair. And he pats her back, and he makes this joke, and her head falls off. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I guess you'll have to come back another time." She's nodded off again. "Oh, well." Like, it's just like, "Oh, okay. We're just going to be... Yeah, door's right there. See ya."
So, Norman Bates. Mother in the basement dead.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, she's nodded off again. Oh, man. Yeah, that's... Okay, so... That's creepy. I never
Yeah.
got through Majora's Mask, so
Oh, it's a trip.
fair.
Especially a lot of the stuff in Zone 4 because there's a lot of undead things that like are looking to Link to like help them like heal from their traumas and like move on to the next life.
I might try it again because I have been kind of wanting to go back through both 64 and GameCube games again. Like I have hyped up the Lord of the Rings: The Third Age so much to people that I bought a copy recently and I'm going to try to play it again. So, but I have a long list of games I want to finish first, which includes Crown Hunting on Monster Hunter Rise. So, that is what I have been focusing on. But I may get back into Majora's Mask at some point. Now that I'm older.
I need to team up with you and do the new Ibushi
The thing that came out today?
Rampage quest.
Is that what came out today?
Maybe?
Something.
I mean, I played it yesterday or the day before.
Okay, maybe it came
Done
out
it
yesterday.
twice. I've done it twice, or attempted it twice, and could not beat it. I always ran out of time
Interesting.
on solo. Yeah, I don't know if they beefed it up in terms of its attack or what, but like, I've just run out of time.
Okay.
On the Majora's Mask subject, Nintendo has said that it's coming to the Nintendo Plus membership thing.
Yes.
They talked about. It's not a launch title, but it is coming.
Okay.
So you will be able to play it on Switch in like a year or two, probably.
I will consider it. I hadn't planned on getting the Plus yet, so we'll see.
Oh, I was sold the second they talked about it.
I guess there's just like people are really thrown off by the price because it's like for a family pack, it's $80, I think.
For a year?
Yeah.
That's not shabby.
But it's like $30 more just for those games, which is, I guess, fair.
25 for the basic, and it's 80 for
Family.
the
Premium.
Plus. I just wish that they would include a little bit better features with it, like have dedicated voice chat for, multiplayer games and stuff like that.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I know. They had voice chat once upon a time on the DS back in the Diamond, Pearl, Platinum era. They took it away.
Well, there's voice chat. They left it up to third parties is what they did.
I know.
Yeah.
No, it was in-game voice chat. I used to chat with people all the time while I was kicking their ass at Pokemon.
I also wish in their hardware they'd include higher storage models or options.
Yeah.
As a base. But oh well.
So spooky prices for Nintendo and Majora's...
Speaking of spooky prices for Nintendo, did you ever end up finding Devil's Third? Because I saw some bids on eBay that were under $100. I haven't checked them today.
No, the game. It's funny, but it's garbage. That's why no one ever bought it. So I'm not getting it.
It's the same. It's the same reason why I have a copy of The Room.
Oh jeez, no. Actually, I mean, last week Sasha didn't see this last week, so I bought 3, not even B tier, Jurassic Park knockoff movies, Jurassic Hunt. I actually watched Jurassic Hunt since then. It's terrible. It puts some of the animations are to the level of the birds, and I'm not kidding. There's a bit where it's a funny bit. I
assume you mean Birdemic.
Yeah, that Birdemic. Yeah, the bad one, not the good one. Okay. get this, they have Compsognathus, so they're playing off of Jurassic Park 2 with the little ones, the compies, right? But they're all the same animation of them slowly walking towards the camera. And I mean slowly. So it doesn't look realistic because it's all the same animation. It also doesn't look realistic because there's 30 on screen and there's no depth perception. They're all the same size, placed on different parts of the screen and at the same angle of like dead on. So like, because if you're looking at something, you can at least tell like, you know, and part of it is I've been doing a lot of art recently, so you get perspective stuff, right? So like, if it's off to the side, it should have at least some of the side facing you. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. It's not going to be directly facing you unless it's angled. Well, they aren't angled, so it's just the same stock animation, and they play it like 40 times. Now, here's the funny part. Nice. They kind of make fun of the Lost World bit in this, because the guy ends up just killing them all instead. So he has a bow and arrow, and he shoots them with a bunch of arrows, and then he runs out of arrows, and he uses his bow like a baseball bat. And it's actually a really funny bit of him just like swinging at all these compies and just knocking them out. And it's just actually kind of hilarious. And it's probably one of the better parts of the movie. But the animation is just like terrible. Like just absolutely terrible. It looks like they took a team of actors, threw them out in like Montana and just said, have fun. And you're being chased by dinosaurs. And it's just B-movie is giving it credit where credit is not due. There has to be a new level. Is there such thing as a C-movie? Because this is bad. This is real bad. And I haven't even watched the other two.
Well, I mean, it was kind of signature of quality when 2 of the 3 movie covers had basically the same T-Rex PNG.
So guess what? Jurassic Hunt is the one that had the very different looking T-Rex, the very chunky looking one, right?
Oh, yeah?
No, that's not how the T-Rex looks in this movie. At all. Not even close. It looks so much worse. It is like, go to Google image search, find stock T-Rex animation. There you go. Like, it is that bad.
I think it would be funny of one of these types of movies if they actually just used like dinosaur toys, kids' dinosaur toys.
Oh,
as the dinosaurs.
super anatomically incorrect ones too. Like
and use like some Lord of the Rings.
Old ones.
Oh no.
Yeah. And use like some Lord of the Rings perspective tricks to like make them size up and sized out.
That would take effort and care.
I'm just gonna have to like purge myself of these movies when I finish them. Just rewatch Primal again. Oh boy. All right. So Ace, did you have another one? Because I still haven't talked about an unexpected moment for me.
Unexpected moment. I have a backup of Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. The experiences with the stalkers in those games. The infected class that hide behind the walls and around corners.
Are they really tall?
They're not tall. They're like, because they're normal people. They just hide behind corners.
Okay.
And they're like halfway between like the runner class and the clicker class.
Yeah. I just don't remember them at all.
Yeah, they're fast and they'll close in on you. They were more so prevalent, I would say, in the Left Behind DLC. The sequence that they were most used in Last of Us, or most memorable, I would say, was the hotel scene where you are separated from Ellie and you have to find the key card to get through the door.
Yeah, I'm vaguely remember, and it's super dark. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And so you have to go into that area and find the key card, and like the second you turn around, there's one standing in the doorway and it just runs away. and hides,
Sure.
and then
okay.
they have like the ambient drums doing the.
Yeah.
They're worse, along with all the infected classes. They are worse
Into.
in the second game
Yeah.
because they become more feral and they get down on all fours and like gallop and sprint. It is creepy ass shit.
Hmm.
And like the clickers in Last of Us Part 2 like have longer screech sequences too.
Okay.
It's unnerving.
Okay.
There's a whole sequence in Last of Us Part 2 where you have to go through a office building that is essentially all stalkers, and I hated that. I was very uncomfortable.
So there's a particular enemy that gets in that one. Okay.
Yeah, I remember specifically in one of the playthroughs I've done on that game, I specifically set up 2 or 3 bombs around my immediate area and just stopped there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I waited like 30 minutes until it was like, all right, they're not going to come after me. I have to move on. So I went and picked up my bombs and sucked it up and went through and crapped my pants and moved on with the story.
It kind of reminds me, I was talking earlier about classic Doom and some scary maps, and it actually reminded me of another one that's particularly scary in the Plutonia Experiment is the name of it's actually a licensed WAD. So a WAD is a level pack, essentially, a full level pack replacement. And there's a map in the Plutonia Experiment, I don't remember which number it is, but it's called Hunted. And what it is you're in a maze with what they call arc vials. Arc vials they're a pretty nasty enemy. They're probably one of the strongest you can run across because they can revive enemies. They can shoot you with they're one of the few hit scan enemies as well. They'll hit scan you with they catch you on fire and then they hit you with an invisible rocket that knocks you up in the air. And so they're super dangerous. And you're in a map where there's 20 of them, and that's it. And you're in a maze, and the music is super creepy piano thing. Like it's like di 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 like almost like Lavender Town, actually, very close to Lavender Town, and you're just sort of walking around this maze, and then you'll hear them growling and stuff, and that kind of thing. So the stalkers, they fight differently than a stalker, because stalker runs at you, but these things you'll just you'll hear them just I don't know, growling is the best way to put it, and they'll just surprise you and catch you on fire and blow you up, and you're like, holy crap, and they'll pop out of corners and stuff. So it's kind of reminded me of that, where it's just Hunted. Yeah, it's just it's such a good name for that map too, because you're just in a maze and they're just going to find you. So I kind of get that vibe from that. I do remember the keycard sequence that you're talking about in number 1. I do remember that being somewhat tense, and I think it was the only moment in that game that I really felt tense in that way.
Yeah, because then in that same sequence you have to start a generator which
Wakes
alerts
up
and
everything.
summons a bloater.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, not only do you get those freaky enemies, you get the big tank enemy, and it's just a bowl of fuck no.
Yeah. All right. So Last of Us, unexpected moment. Not necessarily a creepy game, but unexpected creepy moment. Okay. So my unexpected creepy moment is going to come from a game that I don't like to play, not because I'm scared of it, but because I'm just tired of playing it for the past 2 years, which is Minecraft. And now there's all sorts of specific scary mods for Minecraft and all that kind of stuff. I am not talking about anything. I am talking about the first time I saw what they call an Enderman in Minecraft. I am not very experienced in Minecraft at the time. I had only just begun playing. Um, and I look out of the window at night, right? Because like we're building a house, and we didn't have beds yet because we didn't find sheep to get the wool and whatnot. I'm no expert Minecraft player, so I'm just like just learning the ropes this time. And there is something, literally, it gave me like such a cold chill. I was like, I know, I'm done. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I'm done. Just the fact that they're like super tall, they get the purple eyes, and they just sort of teleport around. And it like the fact that if you look them in the eyes, they attack you. Like you're not supposed to look them in the eyes. Of course, I immediately did because I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "I just like, it's just." They kind of still creep me out, and I don't. I like if I'm in a survival mode, they'll creep me out. But if like I'm in creative mode, or I do Emery likes to do this thing where she turns on creative mode, immediately makes a portal to the Ender Dragon, and goes and kills the Ender Dragon because that's just what she likes to do, and it's full of Endermen there, and that doesn't bother me. But like if I'm just like out in the wild and it's like a wild Enderman has appeared, like I legit and I'm just like I get really like cold chills like down my spine. I'm like I don't like those things. I really don't. So like I legit got spooked in Minecraft the first time I saw one, and I was just like, this is not supposed to be a spooky game. Like what is going on here? But apparently that it can be. So yay, 421 does not like Minecraft for many reasons.
You should play Slenderman.
No. I think that's what they're based off of too. Or vice versa. And they're very related, I would think.
He also
Halloween
doesn't like to be
party.
looked at.
I had a Halloween party one year where we just round the Slenderman game with everybody. And
boy.
every person, most of the people there were not video game players, so that was a treat to kind of watch people get uncomfortable with that. But it was fun. You should try. You should try it.
I will try it with people. That's one of the things. Doing that by myself, and I can't convince my brother to do a lot of that kind of stuff with me because he's just nope, don't care, don't just go fuck yourself. I won't do it.
I think it was either middle school or high school. I think it was freshman or sophomore year of high school. Actually, I downloaded that game on like the first version, the first iteration of that whole time sequence onto a flash drive and played it in the middle of like one of my English classes because we were working on computers at the time. And one of my classmates was like watching along with, and we both like at one of the points where he just popped out and killed me. We both screamed in the middle of the class. And everyone turned around to us like, "What the fuck are you two doing?"
Nice. I was in a college orientation class, and it's the first time I ever had like a laptop during like a classroom setting. I started playing Doom during one of the classes because I was so bored. And it was literally like, this is how you act in college. And it had stupid stuff like, like don't drink too much and da-da-da. I was like, you're just telling us how to live our lives. I don't drink anyway. So like, what is going on here? It was like day one of this class. And it was literally just like a class that was like introduction to college, I think. And
yeah.
So I just opened up my laptop and started playing Doom. And like a couple of the guys around me like, nice. Guy's playing Doom. I'm like, yeah. That was the only time I've ever done that in class.
There was WoW dailies in class.
Yeah?
Sit in the back of the lecture hall and do my WoW dailies. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
There was a TikTok I saw yesterday of like, I think it was at like a army recruitment or like at general training or whatever. There was one of the recruits holding a cell phone behind his back, and you can see like a character on the screen moving around, and then like the video goes back, and you can see the person behind him holding a controller behind his back, controlling the game, and I'm just like, you guys better actually hope that you don't get caught, because you'll get your asses chewed out and possibly beat the fuck up for that.
Yeah, I don't know. There was I watched a movie I'd never seen. Apparently it's old. I didn't know it was old. Called like The Duff, I guess. It's some stupid high school movie. Like it's like designated ugly fat friend or whatever. It's like this idea that every group of friends has
we're in 2010s, I think.
Yeah. So I'd never seen it before, so I watched it, and they had a sequence where they had to turn in all their phones because there was like an incident of cyberbullying, and I was like, dang, people had like pagers and stuff when I was in high school, but like I can't remember a time where people had to like worry about phones in class. I guess that is a thing.
Oh yeah. Like even me, I graduated in 2014, and yeah, we all had cell phones on us.
I mean, I had a cell phone my senior year, but it was like a Nokia. Like it was not.
I had a Nextel with that like two-way chirp, and we would get each other in trouble, fucking with each other. Like whoever was in class, and somebody would be like, "I gotta go take like a bathroom break," and then you chirp somebody because their phone would go off, even though they had it muted.
Oh no, that's just funny. Okay, so Minecraft, yeah, that was the unexpected scary one. Do you have another one, Sasha?
I mean, not really, not anything unexpected.
Sure.
Yeah, I would say another accessible scary game that I've played was Layers of Fear.
Okay.
And specifically the first one. I've played the second one and I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. I felt like the first one had some, not to be punny about it, but some layers to it.
Yeah.
In terms of like what they're trying to tell you with the narrator, and the narrator's kind of personal journey. And it's very like your outcome of the game and the self-portrait, or it might not be a self-portrait depending on how you've explored the game and the choices that you've made. I found that to be really fascinating. My husband's run-through of the game was very different than my run-through of the game, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
But I like the Layers of Fear aspect, like the accessibility piece of it's like Spooky Gone Home. It's a walking simulator. It doesn't matter if you die. It doesn't matter like how slow you go through it. Like I think there's maybe like a couple of sequences where like you kind of need to pick up the pace and do stuff a little bit quicker. But otherwise, it's very, very much a game that allows you to immerse yourself and really get into the environment. Listen to the like soundtrack, open up all the drawers, like find random pieces of paper and photos and things.
Yeah.
So I really liked that game as a spooky game.
Okay. And Pan, are you out?
I'm all out, and I'm in serious danger of falling asleep in my chair.
Wow.
Not because your conversation is boring, it's because I've suddenly, like, just, no caffeine.
Yeah, end of the day. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of spooky stuff as well. Like, for me, it's just, like, not a genre I get into. I don't get scared that easily either. That being said, there are certain things that have got me that like, especially movies that some people are like, seriously? Like, Signs. There's a couple jump scares in Signs that really got me. I don't know why.
You should watch Hereditary.
No, I should not. I do have a Shudder account, but I will not.
You'll never want to floss again.
Jeez. Maybe I could do that while I'm drawing one day and just like You eat. Well, Control Z that line. Shit.
You'll never want to floss, or you'll never look at flossing the same again.
I don't know. I don't have like a big gross out for me. Like it doesn't. We'll see. We'll see.
Sasha knows what's up.
Yeah, I feel like that's not even. I don't know. That part is messed up, but to me, so the first time I watched Hereditary was right after my child was born. So I feel like it would not have hit me the same if I wasn't a parent.
See
that movie. Ugh.
See, the kind of horror I get into is called emotional horror. We were talking about the fact that I had just finished Maid, the Netflix show. Like that, I feel is like emotional horror because it's like a woman going through like an abuse situation where she was domestically abused, and I think not to talk too much about myself, but I related a lot to that in certain ways. Obviously not exactly and not completely, but the like that kind of stuff is the stuff that I would more connect to, is like the sort of like emotional stuff, whereas like just straight up like horror, because a lot of people connect to horror through like, you know, like, oh, you know, I'm getting over something or that kind of thing. I hear that a lot, you know, through the horror podcasts that I listen to. It's like how people cope with some bad experiences in their life and kind of thing. And I've never, up until later in life, had to go through anything traumatic like that. So it doesn't really do a lot for me. Except for the monster stuff. I love monsters. I got over that by learning to love monsters. Like as a kid, monsters were super scary. But then the more I read the D&D books, the more I wanted to play against the monsters and beat them and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Like it just sort of, I still hate vampires though. Vampires were the thing I was afraid of the most as a kid. And I would have nightmares, like absolute nightmares about vampires attacking my school, killing my whole family, like all this stuff. I still don't like them because now I find them boring monsters. Yeah.
Spoilers, you should watch Midnight Mass on Netflix.
Midnight. No.
I haven't watched it yet, but it's Mike Flanagan, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very
Really
good.
scary.
Yeah.
If you want some good emotional horror, just watch BoJack Horseman up through season 4.
I did just.
I don't know.
I don't know. I saw like episode 1, I think.
Yeah, so we got into a kick of watching it a couple years back, and have you two seen it?
Yep.
Okay.
I've watched the whole series, yeah.
Okay. Do you recall the main beats of season 4?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, so it's mostly the stuff with BoJack's mom and or his parents and BoJack's sister. Yeah.
That's always a
So,
fun time.
yeah, I was watching those episodes when I was about 5 months pregnant, and that
It sounds bad.
we
don't
have
know
not
what you're
gone back
talking
to
about.
watching BoJack. No, it's some good emotional horror. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've not gone back to watching BoJack Horseman since then because I just like. I was curled up in a sad ball on the couch and I like was just crying for ages.
See,
I couldn't deal with it.
See, the maid didn't make me cry, but that was like, don't do this. You better not do this. You crazy woman. Don't do this. Nope, she did it. Her life is fucked.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's yeah.
And like,
Season 4.
So that's The Handmaid's Tale for me,
yeah.
which I also watched while I was pregnant. Probably shouldn't have.
Boy. I'm glad I will never be pregnant.
The new Invisible Man is also very creepy. If you've not seen that yet.
I've heard about it.
Good. It's so good.
So obviously it devolved into horror stuff that we've watched because also related. I will say that all of my horror that I've enjoyed has been entertaining to me because it's been funny. Like Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods is hilarious to me. I love it. Also, it has a bunch of really funny and cool monsters. So that's another connection for me, is cool monsters. There's things that I've been wanting to watch is like The Quiet Place, The Quiet Place? A Quiet Place? Is it The Quiet Place? I don't know.
A Quiet Place.
I want to watch those two because that sounds really cool and really tense.
Horror.
Is it? Okay.
Although they missed the opportunity with the sequel by not calling it A Quieter Place.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard a couple people say that, yeah.
I haven't seen
Or like
this
some other
yet.
pun.
Yeah.
Well, I recommend to you then again that you should watch Underwater because it is a monster movie and it does have some funny elements to it. I think it's got though, who is it, TJ Miller, who's slightly problematic as a person. If you can kind of get over that. I mean, it's a horror film.
I
So
don't
you might
hate
not
the
hate it.
Emoji Movie, so I think I'm okay.
Love Underwater. I don't usually watch movies multiple times, but that is one I watched more than once because I wanted to make my husband watch it.
Okay.
I still need to find that Snapchat clip that I have saved about the Emoji Movie and send it to you, Fortuan.
I watched it because my kids watched it, and trust me, you'll watch anything aside from Blippi, as Pan knows.
Oh yes, I've told my husband Blippi doesn't exist in our house. If the child learns who Blippi is,
We
end
kill
of
Blippi.
days.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
Blippi dies.
They'll just replace him.
He's
Let me
got a
tell
new
you-
actor. He's got an actor playing him now. He's
Yeah,
a
I've got
totally different
real
Blippi.
beef. I've got real beef with that because I work with some kids on the spectrum and they are not happy about.
Oh God, they
our new
noticed.
Blippi. Yeah, they noticed.
Oh shit.
It's like,
And I'm
is it like the
why
Blues
am I
Clues
catching
thing again?
grief?
Oh no,
What?
he's a good
No, they try to
lookalike.
pass him off as the same,
He's a good lookalike, but his voice is way different.
Is it lower?
and they noticed.
Yeah, that'll do
He
it.
sounds like a normal adult male.
Yeah, because Blippi was high pitched. Like Blippi
Yeah.
sounds like a 15-year-old boy. Like
Yeah.
He has hit puberty, and my students.
yeah, but Blippi was a full adult man. That's for sure.
Oh, he's very short though. You notice he's able to like climb around in like kids' play places without ducking.
It's true. Yes.
I'm like 5'4" and I'd have to duck.
Yeah.
But enough about Blippi. We're done.
Yeah. No. That's parent horror right there. Blippi. I have moved on into the world of Aphmau and It's Funny, which are Roblox and Minecraft YouTubers.
I'm sorry.
You know what? Funny isn't really that bad. It's just like a group of these 5 girls that just do fun things in Roblox and do like Cece's into the scary stuff, so she gets into like the sort of like scary Roblox games stuff, and Emery is not. Emery just watches a different thing on my phone, so it's not that bad. It's just time consuming, I guess. It's like, yeah, I don't really care to watch it, but I don't hate it. It's not like watching the stuff that I hated before. Like, so it's better. I haven't really got into a ton of horror movies just because, we talk about the horror virgin a couple times. I would be the horror virgin. Like, I would be the one who does not watch a lot of horror. Now, I don't get scared as often as some people do with that stuff. But if there's a chance we're going to get scared, I usually avoid it. I don't like that. I don't like doing that to myself. Now, I will say, have you guys watched Dune yet? Any of you?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got time, and I'm
Sleep.
sorry. I want to.
I fell asleep. I tried.
Um,
I'm gonna try again, but
So there's a part where he uses the voice in anger, on his mom, and or he's having like an episode or something like that, and he uses the voice. And it was surprising, but it didn't startle me. But the first time I saw it was in the theaters with my grandmother when I was out that week for the calling for the Flesh and Blood stuff. We saw it in theaters, like first showing in Cincinnati at this theater. It was like 6 p.m. on a Thursday, and it released, Friday technically. And I have never seen my grandma jump. I have never seen her, because we don't watch scary movies. She likes happy-go-lucky stuff, so she let me pick the movie. I didn't know it was going to be this like super epic dramatic. I've never seen Dune. I've never seen the other ones. So like, I just knew about the spice worms. Like,
Yeah.
And my gosh, she is 80 years old. I swear she jumped 3 feet out of her chair when that happened. And she was like, we were done with the movie at her house afterwards, and she was like, I gotta watch something to let my nerves calm down. Like, I scared her that bad with that movie. I was like, I'm sorry, Grandma, I didn't know. Oh boy. Oh man,
That's just like reminding me of the Nick Swardson joke of like going back in time and showing people from like 1920 a Transformers movie and watching their heads explode.
Oh geez. Yeah, that'd be a culture shock for sure. All right. So, anything else that we want to cover tonight? We'll probably.
I'm good.
Okay. We'll figure out something for next
Payne
week.
is about to fall over in her chair.
As we are talking, my nose is getting more and more stuffed from the cold that I've been getting over. So.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to like sneeze all over the camera or anything. Just. So, thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week. I think all 4 of us again, probably. Ace is looking.
No, I don't believe so.
Oh.
It's the 20th. 20th, I will be seeing Trevor Noah in Chicago.
Cool.
Chicago.
So, I do have a guest that wanted to be on next week, which is I was going to say. So we could replace Ace. Jay. I'm going to say his name wrong. Let me look. Yeah, it is Jay Can. Joy-Con J. He's a Monster Hunter YouTuber, also does weightlifting and stuff. He's actually a really cool guy. We played some stuff with him. So we'll have him on and we'll talk some general stuff. I've actually played with him and his kid on Monster Hunter Rise. That was actually a really cool experience. His like 10-year-old son played with Chauncey and I. It was actually really cool. I don't know. I don't remember, but his kid was like spitting some facts out at us of like weapon stats and stuff, and we're like, okay, wow, all right, kid. Oh
I
man,
want to have the child.
you want to have the child on too? I think that's
No.
against...
I said, to have the free time of a child
Oh,
to memorize all those stats.
yeah, I know, right? Back when
Lion the Witch in the Wardroom. Don't recite the ancient texts to me, witch. I was there when they were written.
it's like me when I first got into Pokemon, remembering all of them by their Pokédex number in order. Like,
Oh yeah.
gosh, I was such a nerd for Pokemon, but like I've said many times before, Monster Hunter ruined it. Monster Hunter came along and I was like, fuck you, Pokemon, I'm out. Even though I'm still going to be picking it up next week. Oh, Ace, are you getting it?
Probably not.
Okay.
I don't
It's
know.
fair, it's
I've
a
not
remake.
been feeling the Pokemon vibe lately. Over these last couple of years, because I jumped back into it with Sun, and then I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it after that, so I just haven't gotten one since.
Well, I might be talking a little bit about Pokemon next week, because my brother and I are going to do my usual, what he likes to call the dark deal, where he gets all the starters and I get a bug. So, we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
Because Bug Trainer Cham's at it again. And I'm going to beat all of the Elite Four with my bug team. Because I'm the strongest bug trainer in the land. I don't know. It's just amusing to me.
Just make sure that you don't fuck up and not use Twin Needle.
Yes. Another Game Grumps joke for those unaware.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week. This is Fortuan, Pan, Sasha, and then at Ace Badger Gaming on Twitter. Of course, at HunterTubPod on Twitter for us as well. Same thing on Twitch. And what's that?
And we record Saturday nights, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
You can figure it out for the other time zones.
And be sure to join the Discord where we talk about stuff. And I've started occasionally streaming while I'm doing art just to sort of hang out and chat. Not necessarily because I'm great at art, just because it's fun to talk to people while I'm doing it. So, yay. Alrighty. That's a wrap for us tonight, guys. And we'll catch you next time. If I can find the app to close it again. Laters.
Bye-bye.
Bye.